Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. I'm finally doing this. A lot of you have been asking. I know you guys love seeing this and I love doing them. But I didn't have the time, but now I do. So I'm gonna be explaining, for those of you that haven't read the title, I'm gonna be explaining my song Any Good, which is my latest release at this time. It is a future house song combined with some other elements from some other stuff that I like, and I'm gonna show you how I made it, especially the vocal lead, because a lot of you have been asking. And if you don't want to see me talking, or if you don't want to see this video but you want to see the project anyways, you can feel free to buy it, because it's available for download to whoever wants to buy it on my website. You can see the link in the description. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the project. I'm gonna tell you guys what my inspiration was first. My inspiration for this track was actually one of my latest, not my latest, my oldest songs. One of them called Move On. A lot of you, it's actually a future house song, and a lot of you were so into it. Compared to my future bound songs, there's a lot of people that have been telling me, or that have told me before, yo, your Move On song is so good, it's my favorite one. Or another person telling me that it's their favorite one, and then someone telling me that they're listening to it every day and that they wanted something else like that. So I figured, you know what, a lot of people seem to like Move On, so why not make a 2.0 version, you know? And how I figured that song before was basically make something old school, but that sounded more futuristic, in a sense, like more from now, you know, not so old school that it gets boring. I wanted to kind of innovate that old school thing, you know, and I did that with this song as well. I wanted to do the same kind of pluck bass and then a vocal on top, a distorted vocal, which I'll explain to you how I did. But yeah, that was basically the idea. I did not start from scratch. So I did not just open the project and just started playing around with stuff and then automatically appeared something. No. I opened the project with the purpose of creating something that sounded like the old track Move On, but innovative, something different, you know? And so I did. I actually did this one for fun. I did not think I was going to release this or finish it, you know? But it started off with the bass line, actually. I think it started off with the bass line, and then I turned it on into chords. But I'm going to show you, I think this is actually the main bass. And it started off like this, with a BPS Avenger preset. Sounds like this. I'm gonna open it so you guys can see it, because a lot of you are like, oh, you're not opening the presets, we want to copy you the presets. Well, this is a preset. It's called BA Future Bass. And the melody sounds like this. I think it's actually Lydian, if I'm not wrong. The scale I'm using for this one, I think it's Lydian, and then it was E, if I'm not wrong, or F, maybe. Yeah, it's actually, I don't know why, but I made this song in F and then I turned it down to E. I don't know, it's E, it's F, Lydian, but I made the song starting with the root note E. So I'm using the 7th as the starting point. I don't know. It's still F, but it sounds like E. Anyways, this is the melody. Let me remove the sidechain. It pretty much repeats all over again. I try to make it as catchy as possible. I try to make it simple. It's not really complicated. The only tip that I can give you guys to make your melodies way more exciting, I guess, is putting those little notes that go up one octave. They really make it more interesting. For example, in this part, instead of repeating this, listen how it sounds without the octave up. dun 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 dun. So it's annoying. And then if it's, it just changes a little bit. It's like puts you off. I don't know. It's but in a good way. So yeah, I did that melody, pretty simple. And I did a lot of processing on the bass. I think without anything, it sounded like this. If I can, without any effects, the drop bass sounded like this. With them, I'm actually using a Kickstart from Nicky Romero. I just open it and I just click on the first preset and that's it. Actually, just open it; it's already loaded. So, I also used the inflator, Oxford Inflator Native. It's upwards compression. It's pushing the lowest and it's making them louder. Blah blah blah. It's complicated to understand, but it's easy to like hear what it does. You know, it basically just boosts everything and compresses it. It's basically how I see it. It's basically a clean OTT. That's how I see it. It's a clean OTT. Why? Because it's not adding any artifacts, and OTT usually does add artifacts. It seems like. So that's one of them. Anyways, it sounds clean, pretty clean. Then I have another sound like this. Pretty basic. Then another one. Then another one. Then another one. This one's kind of similar to the main bass. Then another one. Then another one. Then another one. This was just adding mids. And how I'm gonna tell you guys again. Remember, every time you layer, just don't add stuff randomly. And usually, another tip that I can give you guys nowadays that I didn't know before this tutorial is never solo songs when you're adding them. So let's say you have this sound, and you want to add another sound, and you start looking for sounds, but you have them on a pattern and you have them solo. So you're just listening to this while loading the sounds. Well, that kind of works sometimes where you're trying to combine them. Then you listen to them together and you're like, okay, they work, right? But the thing is, it makes it easier if you keep playing the main sound. So you understand as soon as you press the other sound, as soon as you put the other preset, you're gonna feel that it actually works instantly. You're not gonna have to guess. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. Hopefully I am. Never solo a sound when you're trying to layer. That's all I want to say. So yeah, I was playing around with different layers. As I was browsing through the layers, I kept the main layer playing, so I knew that was the sound I needed. I also tend to analyze how the first sound sounds, and I'm like, okay, this needs some mids, this needs some highs, this one needs some, I don't know, space, so I add more reverb to another sound, etc. You know, so analyzing what you have is key to layering and having a good bassline, whatever. Actually, the main bassline has the sub included, which is something weird. I never do that. I always separate the sub, but for this one I was lazy and I did it, and kind of works. So that's why I did it. Then I added the drums, and these drums are pretty basic. It's just a main kick. I mean, sounds pretty long, I know, but it used to sound longer. It sounded like this, almost like a big room kick. And I added a kickstart inversed like this, so it would remove. Oh, my bad. So it would remove the kick before the bass would come in. So it's basically a inverted sidechain to the kick, and that's also a very cool thing that you can add to your music. I'm actually gonna make a tutorial on this. I should make a separate tutorial on this, a real quick one. But yeah, if you're watching this now, you learned it. You don't have to watch that video. Yeah, I also added transpire, which is transient processing. It's pretty essential in my productions nowadays. Having control over those transients will really help you in the end. You will really feel the difference at the end of the production. You will hear it. You will hear like, oh, that kick is actually punching, or like, oh, that clap is actually having the sustain it needs, or that piano's having a lot of punchiness, or, you know, depends on the sound you're trying to process. Anyways, I have another sound on top of the kick. It's a top kick. It's just basically helping with a little click. You can barely hear it, but it's there. Then I added a clap. Another clap. Another clap. They're pretty short. And the last clap is actually super, super bright. Compared to this one's. Super bright. And then I also added another clap. This is how the drums sound. I added a reverse clap every 4 bars. Just to make it more interesting, you know? Every 3 bars, I guess. 1, 2, 3, and then it goes to the 4th. Yeah, it just makes it more interesting. So it's not like stuck in the same place, you know? It makes it flow a little bit better. It makes it more... People call this candy sounds. I wouldn't really call them like that, but they do. I also added a reverb clap just to add some impact. Easy. Nothing else, I think. I don't have a super weird white noise downlifter or something. It's just a clap with a lot of reverb. And then for the transitions, I have the same clap. I just reverse them. You don't need to have 1,000 different effects. You can actually use one in different ways. And it will make your mix cleaner. It will make your life easier. It will, I don't know, it will fix your life. Pretty efficient. Then I added more stuff. I added this hi-hat. Remember, the most important thing about this is not the processing. This is the leveling itself. Remember, not even the EQ is that important. Leveling is important, all right? How loud the sound is, that's the most important thing. So everything over here it's well leveled. Oh, I mean, at least it's leveled to my taste. Hi-hat. It actually has no lows. I actually boosted some of the highs. And I added another hi-hat that sounds like a snare. And then for a transition, then I added more hi-hats. They sound like this. And I think I actually pitched them. That's pretty cool. I should have added reverb on this one because I kind of feel like it's too dry, but it's cool. I also added a pancake. This is a plugin that moves your sound through the panning, so it moves it left, right, left, right, left, right, or only right if you want it to be only there. I also added a chorus to the hi-hats just to make them wider. Without it, it sounds like this. It's super small, like different super small, but it's there. Then I added a ride. Also pitched up. There should be a... Yeah, here's the automation. Pretty easy, pretty easy. Altogether, make it so groovy and better. And that's what I wanted to do with this. I think I also added a drop clap on top now that I'm seeing. This is how the full drum loop sounds like. Pretty easy. Basic. And I also added this thing. It just makes it wider. Everything makes it more wider and interesting. I need to mute this. I don't need to listen to this. Actually, I'm just gonna mute it here. So this is how it sounds. It basically just helps the kick. Without it, see how dull it is? And with it, nice. Now I can show you how I did the lead vocal, because it's very... Oh, actually, no, never mind. I know what it should go through. Now that after I made the drop bass line and the drums, here comes the interesting part. A lot of you ask me, oh my god, Jay, how do I do my breakdowns? I'm so stuck. Well, chords. Those are the key. Nowadays, all the breakdowns on EDM have chords or some sort of deconstruction of the bass of the drop. You know. So what I did was, I took the bass line, and I made my chords with it. And I made chords with it. I mean, so this is basically the bass line. It's saving. Okay. This one's basically a bass line. All right. Wait. This is basically a bass line. Literally. But I made up chords. That's it. I made chords. And I also added an ARP. And it's actually an ARP from Silent. And it's actually one of the main presets of Silent. And it sounded like... Alright, where's the ARP? Here it is. It's one of the main presets. And it just sounds so old school. And I really wanted to make that shine. And it sounds like this. Together it sounds like this. The vocals, I found them on Splice. That's how the original sound. This is how the original sound. This is never gonna be any good for you or me. And I added a ton of stuff. Nectar, Inflator, Pro DS, and it sounded like this. This is never gonna be. I also turned them one octave lower, and it wasn't actually this note. It was actually C minor, but I made it. I don't know. I put the root note on G sharp now, and it kind of put it on tune. How, I don't know, but I don't remember why I did it exactly. I should have done it like an E, I guess. I don't know. I just know that I did that, and now it sounds good. This is never gonna be. So I'm basically using... So basically the vocal now is some sort of chord. It's making some sort of major chord. If you put it like... The vocal would be playing here. Now, I don't know. It's something weird. Sometimes the best thing to think about music is just doing stuff, you know? Don't really think about them. But yeah. I tuned the vocals. That's basically what I did. I think I used Nectar for this as well. Yeah. I also corrected the vocal, so it sounded like this scale, which was Lydian. All right, so it sounds, the breakdown, I also added a bass line. It's basically the same bass line on everywhere. It's the same bass line that I'm using, same bass line melody, I mean, that I'm using on the drop. Same thing, and then chords. Chords, easy. All the chords, what are they doing? I'm just getting rid of the lows, and I'm putting them in a group where I can control the intensity of a freaking endless smile. This track is so easy, and 100% of my tracks are easy to understand. But what's really hard about producing is not finishing track, is actually starting them. A lot of people get stuck finishing tracks, but I'm like, bro, the hardest thing about making music is not finishing them. Finished music is actually starting them, because once you have an idea, and when I say idea, is one good idea. Once you have a good idea, it's like a blast of inspiration, and there's no way you cannot finish it. I also did a build up with the bass. It's basically a drop bass, and it's going low pass to high pass. Just going up. Then a snare. Following the rhythm of the bass. Easy. I'm also having a endless smile going up together with the snare. Then downlifter, reverse clap, the same reverb clap, the same thing I'm using in the drop, and then another ride, and a ride, and then a crash. And then at the end of the build up, I put a sub drop that sounds like doom. Making build ups is also pretty easy if you use your elements correctly. That's what it is. Making use of your elements. This was actually a longer track. I actually made it longer before, but the label said it was better if it was short. So I made it shorter, and it just literally starts away with the freaking build up. As you can hear, it's pretty basic. It's a pretty basic song. Actually, in the drop, what I did was accompany the bass line with pianos, and it sounds like this. That's not the drop. That's actually the transition. Here's the piano. And I know it sounds like there's a lot of filtering happening there, and there is. You can hear it here. So when like, and then opening, and then closing, and then opening again, just makes it move better, and that's good and tasty. For the piano, I'm actually using an M1, and M1 piano. Where is the piano? It's here. Piano makes one, and I have an OTT, a transpired to make it click a little better, and so it sustains a little more. Cut the lows, distorted, British clean, and then just use a G clip to keep it at 0 decibels. Really easy song, but the idea seems pretty easy, and it also seems easier because it's organized. That's something that you guys need to work on, your organization. It's really important, very important, much more important than most of us think. Yeah, the breakdown, second part of the breakdown, I used the same vocal, but I looped apart and sound like this. And I also filtered it so it sounded like an old phone, you know. However, here's the important part. The drop vocals sound like this. That's interesting, right? How the hell did he do that? Well, this is how it sounds without any effects.
Oh, nowhere else I'd rather be when I'm by your side. So let's make love till there's a dawn. So let's make love till there's dawn. Oh.
I actually like the cuts, so it sounds like an actual sample, and I did that in purpose. So whenever the processing came in, it would sound like it's like a cut through every single phrase. So it would differentiate phrases. So it's not just one long note. How did I do that? The trick here is just distortion. Literally, I'm using a fat filter Pro R to make it all the way to the back, and the Saturn to distort that. And without any distortion, it sounds like this. That's pretty annoying. Actually, it's pretty loud. I think it's sausage fattener problem. It's basically the same thing, but distortion is what helps. I can show you guys. This is basically default settings, and I just distorted the mids and the lows. And later on, I got rid of the lows, and I got rid of some of the mids that were bothering me. But that's pretty much it. Just the distortion. It's the thing about, you can use any distortion plugin. However, I'm using Saturn because it has a multi-band distortion, and that's useful. That's key to this. Because I don't want to really distort the highs, because then the highs get distorted. It's a mess. And then I added this Pro R, which puts them all the way in the back, because I didn't really want to make them in my face, you know. I wanted the bass to do that. So without the reverb, it sounds like this. It might be annoying, so might lower your volume a little. Sounds like this. And I added the Pro R. It sounded like this. For my master, I pretty much have a EQ, Pro Q to make the lows mono, and then the highs a little bit wider, and then I have a sausage fattener just to keep it at 0 decibels and also boost 1%, and that's pretty much it for this track. It's actually a pretty cool track, and there's a lot of more hidden gems inside it that you can find if you go inside the project. How can you go inside the project? You can just go on my website and get it right now. Right now, you can go get it right now because I know you want it. I know it's pretty weird for a producer to release their sounds or like their own plugins, but or like their own templates. But I guess I was feeling generous, and I kind of feel like this can help a lot of people. Yeah, even if you didn't buy the project, I'm sure you can get something out of this tutorial, and that's my goal. I'm pretty much making this so you guys learn something, especially for that drop vocal. The trick is distortion. Remember, the trick is distortion, but control distortion. That's why I'm using a multi-band distortion plugin, which is Saturn. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now, I guess. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And another really quick message. I am releasing a song the 27th of September, and it's actually a song in Spanish, but it's like a future dance pop. I don't even know what I did, but it's so good, and I'm gonna need your help, guys. So make sure you stay tuned so you can help me share the song once it's out, or you can pre-save it on Spotify, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you guys can do, I would really appreciate it, because I'm scared, because I'm releasing something that is way different from what I usually release. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to connect with me, you got my socials in the description. You got my website, so you can buy more sample packs or something. I don't even know. Make sure you leave, if you made it all the way here, make sure you leave a comment like, oh my god, I can't believe you're already releasing on Spinning Records. Let's play around with the guys that didn't watch all the video. Let's play with their feelings. All right, see you guys later. Love you all. Bye bye.